Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Premier League Fantasy Football and welcome to my video. In today's video, I want to look at some price reveals for this year's FPL season. So if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and drop a like on the video as it helps my channel out a lot. So here we go. So I'm going to go through some of the price reveals and give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on those changes. So I got Odegaard and Fernandes. As you can see, Odegaard was 6.5 last season. And he'd rise to 8.5 for this season. So that's a big chunk of a rise there. However, he was the second most point earner for midfielders, just behind Salah. So he had, 212 points. If I look at some of these stats, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double-digit points. Throughout the season, 15 goals as a midfielder, 8 assists, decent amount of bonus points, and Arsenal played really well last season. If Arsenal can keep the players that they have, I can see Arsenal continue to do well. He's the captain as well. He's going to be playing a lot of games. He plays up to around 80 to 90 minutes. So that is, that's what we want to see. 8.5 is actually not too bad, and I'm quite happy with that price as well. I'm quite happy that he's not about 9 or 9.5. A little bit on the expensive side though, but 8.5 is okay. However, Bruno Fernandes, I think he's going to be in a lot of people's teams. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the fixtures. So let's just have a quick look at the Arsenal one. So Arsenal has got Nottingham Forest at home. Okay, Odegaard's in our team, I guess. Then Arsenal has in game week 2 Crystal Palace. And then let me just have a quick look. Then they have Fulham. So I think looking at the Arsenal fixtures, the first 3, I think Odegaard is a good shout. Now for Manchester United, they have got Wolves at home, and they've got Spurs away, and they have Nottingham Forest at home. So another decent fixtures for Manchester United. If we look at Bruno Fernandes, he was 10 million. Very expensive last season. And that's why a lot of people went with Rashford. But he's now 8.5. And I think Rashford is going to rise to probably 9.5 or even 10. And I think a lot of people are now going to move to Fernandes because Fernandes is on penalties as well. If I look at Fernandes, it wasn't a top 10 most point earner from the midfielders with 176 points. If I look at some of these stats, not the best season for him. 8 goals, 9 assists, a decent amount of bonus points as well. But yeah, it wasn't the season that for him to be 10 million. It was a poor season for him. But now that he's 8.5. I think this is all going to change. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at both of these players. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now let's move on to Matoma and Watkins. As you can see, Matoma was 5 million from Brighton. His rise to 6.5. I think that is still cheap, and I'm quite happy with that price tag really. Matoma did pretty damn well. He was a very cheap option, 5 million. A player that, didn't really start off that well. He didn't play that many games, but when he had a regular start in the team, he started bringing points. So the first half of the season, he was in a lot of people's teams, but then later on, he was very highly owned. 7 goals, 9 assists. That is a decent amount of returns for a 5 million player. Brighton, they were playing really well. And if I look at some of their fixtures, the first 3, Brighton has Luton at home, which is a decent fixture to start with. Then they have Wolves away in game week 2. Then they have West Ham at home. I think that's all right. I think definitely bringing 1 or 2 Brighton players is pretty much what we are probably all going to do. And 6.5, I think we have a spot for Matoma still in our FPL teams. Even with a lot of players are leaving from Brighton, I think Matoma is just a fantastic player. If we move on to Watkins, he was 7.5. He's now 8 million this season. If I look at Aston Villa's fixtures, I can see that they got Newcastle away, which is quite tough. Then they have Everton at home, and then in game week 3 they got Burnley away, which is it's okay. It's okay. And for Watkins, you know, a player that I think he's still won penalties. Let's have a quick look at his stats. Let's have a look here. So 15 goals. Actually pretty damn good. 8 assists for him last season. That's not too bad at all. He was on a massive streak of lot of goals as well, in that mid-season part of FPL, and yeah, he was definitely in my team as well. And you know, being around the 8 million is okay. I just wish that he stayed around the 7.5, but I think 8 million is okay, considering that it was 4th best last season for forward positions. So yeah, quite happy with Matoma's price tag of 6.5 still. Quite happy. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Now if we move on, we got Sarr from Wolves. As you can see, nothing has changed here. However, got to move on to Son. He was 12 million last season, and he had a really bad start. He had a lot of injuries. However, you know, him and Harry Kane, you know, started to pick up later on in the season. He had 10 goals, 6 assists. If Harry Kane stays there, him being 9 million, I think a lot of people are going to go for Son instead of Harry Kane. We know what Son can do. We know that he is an explosive player that can return massively. And with him being 9 million, I think he is definitely going to be in people's radars. So if I look at Spurs' fixtures, the first 3, they've got Brentford away. They have Manchester United at home. And they have, in game week 3, Bournemouth away. So those fixtures are actually not too bad, and I think moving forward as well, you know, they've got Burnley, they've got Sheffield United. Definitely, he is definitely a player that is going to be on a lot of people's radar. We need a lot of money to bring all of these players in, because we still got Haaland and Salah to go through. And talking about Haaland and Salah, as you can see, Haaland was 11.5. He is now 14 million. 14 million, guys. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter who Manchester City plays. Haaland is just, yeah, unbeatable. He's just incredible. Yeah, 272 points last season. 36 goals. Let me repeat that. 36 goals, 9 assists on penalties. Great fixtures, and yeah, I think he's going to be a must-have. For Salah, he was 13 million last season. He's dropped. Still the top most point earned by midfielders with 239. He's probably going to continue to stay on penalties. He's got 19 goals, 13 assists. It's actually not too bad. Haaland is just incredible. But yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to bring all these players in. I think there's going to be a lot of options out there at the early stages, and we're just going to see how things develop and how things change. But him being 12.5 is actually not too bad. But it's going to be very difficult to bring in Son and Bruno Fernandes, Odegaard, Haaland, and, you know, Salah. I think we really need to go with a probably cheap defenders, you know, and try to, you know, boost our attacks and midfielders. We'll see how it all turns out, guys. Just got a final page to go through, which I'm going to go through it quite quickly. As you can see, these were the other price reveals. The one that I want to kind of talk to you guys about is Trippier. He is now 6.5. I think if it was 6 million, then I would have been okay. By 6.5, you know, he's now going to be playing in the Champions League. There could be some rotation as well. You know, he is a fantastic defender. I'm not saying that he's not, but 6.5 it feels quite expensive to me. I think if it was 6, it would have been okay. The other player that I want to mention is Nkudu. I think 7.5, a Chelsea attacker, could be the way to go to bring in a player from Chelsea. He done for me really well in the Champions League, so that's where I know him of, and I hope that he would do well in the Premier League. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys think about some of these price reveals. I think I'm just going to wait until the game fully updates. I think that might be the best thing to do. I might create a draft as well to start slowly, you know, create my team just for fun. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Yeah, just thought I'll show you guys some of the price reveals, give you guys my thoughts. And that is about it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.